A portion of this video is brought to you by ZBiotics. For more information about ZBiotics, visit the link in the description below or wait until the end of this video to hear more about them from me.
I wish you loved Chicago as much as you hate President Trump.
That's the kind of testimony you expect from this administration. A simple question as to whether or not they had a legal rationale for deploying National Guard troops becomes grounds for a personal attack.
I really hope that Democrats take a page out of the Republican playbook to give them back what has been delivered to the American people by them. Meaning, when Democrats are back in the White House, and Republicans, hopefully not, but if Republicans are in control of Congress and they have oversight power, when they hold hearings, I hope Democrats act just like Pam Bondi did yesterday. Because if we're setting precedents, if we're going off of what previous administrations have made normal, all right. If this is how it can be done, this is how I guess it should be done. Watching Pam Bondi yesterday was a masterclass in jackassery. It was recalcitrance. It was the entire day. In fact, there's a couple of different moments here where she has predetermined, written for her lines that she references before she looks back up to respond to whichever lawmaker is asking her questions, whichever constitutionally mandated provider of oversight was asking questions. She provided no information. It's a lot along the same lines of the question that gets asked of why have Jim Jordan on an interview on CNN? He's going to lie. He's going to provide no actual information whatsoever. So why do it? It's kind of the same thing. However, sometimes what people don't say, sometimes the questions people refuse to answer give us more information than the answer they would have give if they did answer. We're going to start with Adam Schiff, who really just kind of went through and started listing the questions that she refused to answer, sending her over the edge. And in this clip, I want you to watch her when she's on screen, watch where she's looking, what she's referencing when she comes back to make her snarky little comments, because she doesn't have the brain pan available to her to think quickly in the moment on her feet. She needs pre-constructed talking points to refer to try to distract from the hearing's goals and objectives, again, that are mandated by the Constitution of the United States. Watch Adam Schiff really doing good work here with Pam Bondi.
You were asked whether you were firing career professionals, career prosecutors, just because they worked on January 6th investigations. You refused to answer that question. You were asked by my California colleague whether you believe government officials, like immigration officials, have to abide by court orders. You wouldn't even answer that question. This is supposed to be an oversight hearing.
Oversight?
Excuse me, you can attack me after my time is over.
You've attacked all of us, including President Trump, for your entire
You can attack me later,
career.
and I know you've got plenty of canned attacks. We've heard them all day today.
Canned attacks on you?
This is supposed to be...
No one needs a canned attack on you.
Regular order, Madam Chair. I'm trying to speak. This is supposed to be an oversight hearing of the Justice Department. And it comes in the wake of an indictment called for by the president of one of his enemies. This is supposed to be an oversight hearing, and it comes in the wake of revelations that a top administration official took $50,000 in a bag, and this department made that investigation go away. This is supposed to be an oversight hearing when dozens of prosecutors have been fired simply because they worked on cases investigating the former president. This is, and now the current president.
What about the fires in California? Do you care about that, Senator Schiff?
This is supposed to be an oversight hearing in which members of Congress can get serious answers to serious questions about
the riots in LA serious?
About the cover-up of corruption, about the prosecution of the president's enemies. And
I think you owe the president an apology.
When will it be
frankly,
that the members of this committee on a bipartisan basis demand answers to those questions and refuse to accept
Clearly you're a failed lawyer because you don't understand when
excuse
someone
me,
can and cannot
refuse
answer
to
a
accept
question.
personal slander as an answer to those questions.
Personal slander.
With
Will
that,
you
Madam
apologize
Chair,
to Donald
I yield
Trump
back.
for slandering him?
And that's what the whole role was. That's what the game was about. That was what she was doing there yesterday. Defending Donald Trump. Many moments looking directly into the camera, knowing that at the other end, on some television in the White House, Donald Trump was watching. Donald Trump was either approving or disapproving of her performance. And that's exactly what it was. It was a performance. Even Adam Schiff referencing the canned attacks, the canned comments. Well, she's a canned attack. I don't need a canned comment for you. What about the fires in LA? Right. We see you, Pam. We see you. The performance absolutely did continue, unabated. No pushback from the chairman, the Republican chairman of the committee at all, at any point whatsoever. No, at no point banging the gavel, creating order in the chamber, directing the witness. Here's the other thing that I really wish I could see from these people. This is part of the problem. Maybe it's part of the problem with me. I was going to say this is part of the problem with governance and these types. They get into power and they're so adherent to the my good friend across the aisle, this performative action of pretending like they're all friends and we can all just get along and just have different opinions. When that political ship has sailed, we no longer live under that political order that we have for so long. It does not exist anymore, as evidenced by her behavior in this committee. What I would love is for someone like Adam Schiff to say, Madam, do not interrupt me. Madam, shut your mouth when you are in this chamber. You are a guest here. You are required to be here, and we are required to provide oversight. Shut your mouth until you are asked a question. That's where we are. Can we dispense with this congenial, oh, madam, we're gonna have some oversight hearing. You're not going to answer any of our questions, but we're going to still treat you as though you're here in good faith. The next clip is Dick Durbin, senator from Illinois. Two senators here from two separate states that are under literal assault and invasion from Donald Trump. California, Illinois. And Dick Durbin, he wants to know about the dispatchment, the deployment of military troops into Illinois from Donald Trump. What was the predication? What were conversations like? What was the planning like? What went into it? And of course, you won't be surprised to learn, she refused to give any information whatsoever. She refused to allow the constitutionally mandated duty of Congress. She refused to allow them oversight. And it's just allowed. And she just levels her random weird attacks and acts incredulous, all to please the cult leader, Donald Trump.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Madam Attorney General, let me ask you this question. Were you consulted by the White House before they deployed National Guard troops to cities in the United States?
I am not going to discuss any internal conversations with the White House.
You won't even say whether you talked to the White House about this?
I am not going to discuss any internal conversations with the White House with you, Ranking Member.
I noticed that. What's the secret? Why do you want to keep this secret? The American people don't know the rationale behind the deployment of National Guard troops in my state. The word is, and I think it's been confirmed by the White House, they are going to transfer Texas National Guard units to the state of Illinois. What's the rationale for that?
Yeah, Chairman, as you shut down the government, you voted to shut down the government, and you're sitting here, our law enforcement officers aren't being paid. They're out there working to protect you. I wish you loved Chicago as much as you hate President Trump. And currently, the National Guard are on the way to Chicago. If you're not going to protect your citizens, President Trump will.
I've been on this committee for more than 20 years. That's the kind of testimony you expect from this administration. A simple question as to whether or not they had a legal rationale for deploying National Guard troops becomes grounds for a personal attack. I think it's a legitimate question. It's my responsibility. She refuses to answer as to whether she had any conversation with the White House about deploying national troops to my state. that's an indication, I'm afraid, where we are politically in this place.
Did you catch it? Did you catch it? Right before she answers the last question about you voted to shut down the government, I wish you loved America as much as, or I wish you loved Chicago as much as you hate Donald Trump. That was a preordained line that she looked down on paper, tracked what she was going to say, and then turned back to answer. Who's writing? Who's writing the bits for Pam Bondi? Is it Stephen Miller? Could be. Very likely, or a Stephen Miller aide. We know, after all, that Stephen Miller is the actual Attorney General of the United States. The non-lawyer Stephen Miller runs the Department of Justice. He runs the State Department. He runs the Homeland Security Department. We know. And this is why they can't answer any questions, because if questions are answered, facts will be come to. The narrative will be uncovered. The reality of what is taking place will be laid bare. When we're in charge again, we need to bring this kind of fire. If this is the new normal, if this is the way they want things to run, let's give it to them. Midterms cannot come soon enough. What do you think? I'd love to know. Please subscribe to this channel on YouTube. We're trying to get to 1.5 million before the end of the year. Unlikely, but possible. With your help, it can happen. You can also like and follow the Facebook page, Dollemore Daily. I would appreciate that very much. You can comment below the video wherever you choose to watch it. And you can call the voicemail line, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me, as always, daily@dollemore.com. I love and appreciate you very much. I'll see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another. When competing in sporting events, any athlete will tell you it's all in the training and the preparation. Exercises, supplements, vitamins, regimens, they all work in concert to aid an athlete's performance. Why should you treat a night out any differently? Just like a sporting event, an evening with drinks is at base also a feat of endurance sometimes. Why not prepare yourself the same way you would for any sporting activity? Prep like a professional with Z-Biotics pre-alcohol probiotic drink. It's the world's first genetically engineered probiotic specifically invented by PhD scientists to handle those tough mornings after you've been drinking. With pre-alcohol, you have a surefire way to wake up feeling refreshed after a night of drinking. Score 15% off your first order with Z-Biotics now. Just click the link in the description below. In your body, the alcohol you drink is converted into a toxic byproduct your gut isn't naturally designed to break down. It's this byproduct and not dehydration that's to blame for your rough next day, despite all the water that you're drinking. Z-Biotics pre-alcohol produces an enzyme that breaks this byproduct down. So if you make pre-alcohol your first drink of the night and drink responsibly, your gut will be set up for success the following day. You owe it to your morning self to fold Z-Biotics into your regimen, especially since they offer a 100% money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied for any reason, Z-Biotics will refund your money, no questions asked. You can't lose. Preparation is the key to both endurance and recovery. Access 15% off of your first order of pre-alcohol by clicking the description link below. Keep yourself in super social shape with Z-Biotics.